Ham. Sebastian Haller comes in for his first start since the 7th of March. Big changes for both sides. What it means in terms of the way the two teams look today: Liverpool line up with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, Nathaniel Phillips and Andy Robertson across the back. It's Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson and Wijnaldum the midfield three, Mo Salah, Robertson, Firmino and Sadio Mane across the front. For West Ham United, a familiar goal: Coufal, Balbuena, Ogbonna, Cresswell and Masuaku. Four in midfield: Bowen, Soucek, Rice and Pablo Fornals, all supporting Sebastian Haller in attack. Interestingly, the captain is missing, but one man who is on the bench is Saïd Benrahma, the Algerian wide man who can create so much and is such a massive talent. He is on the bench and could make his debut for the Hammers late. David
He probably realises his chances are going to be few and far between when Antonio is in the team, so he's got to take it. This is his chance, he's got to make sure he takes it.
Are West Ham getting deserved praise at the moment for their results? Do you see them regressing to what we would expect as the norm for them in time, or do you think it's going to continue?
Well, certainly the results have been superb. I think they've made some really solid signings as well. I think Benrahma will prove to be an excellent addition. I like how their recruitment has gone in terms of, dipping into the Championship, so to speak, with the likes of Bowen and previously they might not have gone there. They might have felt, they're a bit too big for that or too good for that. Instead, they've gone British. I really like some of their signings, and as I said, I think they're having a terrific season. They really are.
And for Liverpool this season, they had that one crazy game, didn't they, away at Villa, where they got battered 7-2. Since then, unbeaten in 3 wins in that time as well. Are they the team to beat again this season now, the way things are looking, with Man City faltering? I know they won earlier today. Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be plenty of twists and turns. You've got to, I guess, go back to when City had their injury problems at the back. Man City, that is, in terms of, Laporte being out, Company going, etc., and how they found it difficult. They are conceding, a lot of goals. I mean, they've conceded 14 already, James, and only last season 33 for the whole season. Now, look, 7 of those were against Villa, as we know, but still, they will give you a chance. And, this will be, I guess, the litmus test, won't it? Lovren's gone, so they're a little bit light at the back, and it could be a case, leaving themselves a bit bare at the back. But like I say, you don't have this academy that they have, which brought through the likes of Steven Gerrard and Michael Owen and Robbie Fowler and all these greats to suddenly, not have one of your own, giving them an opportunity to see what they can do. So today is Phillips' chance.
Yeah, a number of youngsters involved today as well. Reece Williams and Nico Williams both on the bench for Liverpool. They're out warming up with the rest of their teammates right now. Kick-off in just under 25 minutes here at Anfield. We'll build up more to the game in a few minutes' time. You're listening to Premier League Live.
As darkness sweeps around the globe at 8 p.m. on the 18th of November, 25,000 people worldwide will pull their running shoes on to hit the road for a virtual 5 or 10k at Run in the Dark. I'm Mark Pollock, and by joining us to Run in the Dark this November, you'll be supporting the Mark Pollock Trust and our charity partner Collaborative Cures, whose mission it is to cure paralysis in our lifetime. Register now at runinthedark.org and get your medal, your flashing armband, and your Run in the Dark virtual timing app. Thank you.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost to standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom Base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Merriam Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track? And who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other, Scoil Céile. Ireland with help from Black Knight and .ie. Because now, we need better than business as usual. 918-3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, and we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
Introducing Guardsons with Guardson Sport Disinfectant Treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
Welcome back here to Anfield, where we're building up to the late game today in the Premier League between Liverpool and West Ham United. The sides warming up down in front of us here. Kick-off at 1:30, just under 20 minutes to go until kick-off here. This is the third game of the day already today. Manchester City winners at Bramall Lane by a Kyle Walker goal to nil at his old club. Chelsea 3-0 winners at Turf Moor in the 3 o'clock game. Hakim Ziyech with the first, Kurt Zouma and Timo Werner adding goals 2 and 3. That after last night's game at Molineux, as Wolves comfortably put away Crystal Palace by 2-0. The big game tomorrow, it's a 4:30 start for Manchester United against Arsenal, and we can hear from the two bosses now ahead of this one, starting with Mikel Arteta, who says United against Arsenal is more than just a game.
I think it's one of the best in the Premier League. The history of this clash is huge. I remember times between Arsene and Sir Alex, and the confrontation with players. They were fighting for the league. It was always really, really tight. So it was probably the biggest clash in the Premier League. And
David Connolly alongside me talking through this game tonight. But David, this game tomorrow, Manchester United against Arsenal, it still has a rivalry certainly between the fans, but how far removed is it at the moment compared to, those classic clashes at Highbury and Old Trafford? You remember Keown bouncing off the shoulders of Van Nistelrooy after he rattled the crossbar with a penalty?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, both these sides are a little way off that now. What you would say is for Man United, they put through a decent run of results, haven't they? In terms of since that 6-1 hammering by Spurs, put in a great result against Paris Saint-Germain, Rashford on fire. Obviously, decent point against Chelsea, and then obviously smashing Red Bull. So, they've put a run of results, so they should be pretty confident coming into it. That maybe, just maybe, their form has sort of turned the corner.
I went to see Arsenal last week against Leicester at the Emirates, and they were a bit hard done by there. They had most of the possession. It was almost like a training ground game for them at times, but got beaten by Jamie Vardy, as so many of the big teams have over the last few years. Yeah, I mean, it took a little bit of a change, didn't it, late doors, in terms of Under coming on and having a really good impact on the game, because they weren't actually getting in behind. But Arsenal followed it on. It was always difficult, I think, to break down Dundalk, and obviously this United game will be a completely different kettle of fish in terms of what they face. But it's one of those that it will still be watched all around the world, and it will still be probably a terrific game. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has his critics, we all know that. Some justified, some not. Where do you stand on him? And why does he have critics? Given the results he's had, he got Manchester United back into the Champions League. Why does he have people that are constantly against him?
Well, certainly, I don't think when you get smashed 6-1, by Tottenham, that really doesn't help. They have struggled at times this season. You think it took them, pretty late to overcome Brighton. That was another result where they didn't really cover themselves in glory. But I certainly think the Spurs result was something else, where it was, master against the apprentice, and obviously Mourinho going back to his former team, full lot of pressure. But they've turned it around since then. You just look at Southampton, Ralph Hasenhüttl. Sometimes it takes a result like that to sort of galvanise you, and that seems to be what's happened to United.
Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also had his press conference in the lead up to this one, and he's been beating the drum, saying that clubs should be allowed 5 substitutes again.
I don't understand, and I cannot believe that the vote went against, because we have to look after the players. We have to think the most demanding season of all. If you take a step back and think about these professional footballers and their mental and physical health, I think the solution would have been to give us the opportunity to rest a few more. We've already seen loads of injuries in the Premier League. I know Pep has been talking about it, other managers, and we have to look after them.
Those are the views there of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, saying that the league and the clubs have to look after the players. Does he have a point, David Connolly?
Yeah, I think he does. And, Pep made this point, saying there's been, 47%, nearly 50% more muscle injuries than this time last season. We know because of the turnaround, because of the short space in time, because of the workload, the fixtures of Nations League, the Champions League, you name it. When you're at the very, very top, as the likes of United and City are, those players earn every penny. They are playing Saturday, Tuesday, club country, you name it. However, obviously the 5-sub will certainly favour those sides. It might not favour the lesser teams because they won't have the same or similar sort of depth. So that's why it fell down. So I think those clubs, that aren't of the stature of United and City, don't have that sort of size squad, would have said, well, this isn't really going to favour us. It's going to more favour the bigger teams.
Should something have given then in terms of one of the competitions be dropped this season?
No, like what? What should be dropped?
I kind of agree with you, but ultimately the Premier League have their own interests. The League Cup is run by the EFL, the FA Cup is run by the FA. The broadcast deals and the money that's brought in for all those competitions goes to different bodies. It's not as though the Premier League run all these competitions and they think, okay, let's rein one of them in, let's stop one of them. Yeah. The problem we've got in this country is that they're all held and all run by different
organisations
and stakeholders.
And that's good, isn't it? Imagine if it was all run by the one organisation, the Premier League, for example. I really like the League Cup. I love the FA Cup. I think they're part of our tradition, in this country. So is the games and the workload. So is playing at Christmas, and a lot of these things, should be here to stay. Look, what can you do? You might put out the kids or in the early rounds and get knocked out. Well, so be it, but look at us in a row.
He cares about us and thinks about us. That's one thing, and we will never forget that, and all these kind of things. We'll take care for everything he needs. But on the other side, the focus is now, of course, on the available players, and so with that we are fine.
You'd rather play in Liverpool without Virgil van Dijk, that's undoubtedly. But probably the biggest thing about getting up to Liverpool is playing Liverpool without any supporters for me. I think that their support makes such a difference to them. So I think getting up there with no crowd behind them, I think hopefully that might make a little bit of a difference as well.
But I can tell you that after surgery, and it was successful, which is really good, the best news you could get, is that this time is always unpleasant. Everybody who had a surgery knows that. You don't wake up and everything is fine, so you feel still the surgery. So, and that's it. But he's good, as good as you can be, and that's it.
Whatever you say, for whatever we got, I always expect to go and win the games. I put my team out looking to win, looking to get results, and I'm not saying it. I'd rather take 3 points against Tottenham, but in the end I was really pleased with the point we took from both games. I think it shows we're going in the right direction, we're making progress. So I've been pleased with the players generally. I think the players have done. I'm not going to say that every week because there's another game coming up now and we have to do it again.
Hearing there from David Moyes at the end of that clip. David Connolly, how much credit does he deserve, and what has he done to change the fortunes of West Ham in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think he's done brilliantly. I haven't played under David, but I think the job he's done, I know he's done a great job at lots of clubs, but maybe the United one tainted him slightly. But it's been superb. I like how he set them up. Very difficult, hard to break down, hard to beat. He's getting the best. Certainly a lot of players that have come on. Obviously Antonio, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Masuaku. Coufal's been a terrific signing, Soucek as well. So look, their recruitment's been right, their management's been right, in terms of man management. He's had to make some big calls, he really has. Noble obviously not in the squad today, and that's what he's paid to do, but he's done an excellent job in very difficult circumstances and from a really difficult start. Look at the fixtures they've had, Wolves, Leicester, Spurs, Man City, and now Liverpool. Doesn't get much tougher, to be honest.
You talk about people who've worked under him. Is it because he's a really good man manager or a coach or a blend of the two?
Yeah, sort of. I guess it's some of each of one of those. You know, a terrific manager, wins, knows what it takes to win, is able to set up a side to go out and win games. Now, I know that was levelled against him where he said, you know, I'm here, I'm a winner, and obviously he's sort of changed his tack a little bit in terms of saying, well, you know, I'm going to promise less and deliver more, like he was from United. You can understand that. But look, he has proven he's able to get the most. He can extend players' careers. Look at what he did with Distan and Phil Neville and, you know, people like that. So I think he's a terrific manager.
In terms of West Ham today, the big switch for them is obviously Mikel Antonio missing, hamstring injury, Sebastian Haller coming in. Two players that are playing in the same position, but their game couldn't be more different.
No, that's right. Look, Haller is an expensive signing that hasn't worked out, and West Ham have had a few of them. You know, with Felipe Anderson, you can keep going, but you know they've gone sort of with Mikel as their reliable number 9, and he has proven to be really reliable. I mean, when I played with Mikel at Southampton, he was a winger. You know, he fatigued very quickly, and he was very raw. But certainly now, volume of games, you know, dependency. Not only is he quick, he's strong, his footwork's improved, his touch has improved, his hold-up play's improved. You can play him up there on your own. He can be a number 9. He can threaten in behind. He can do, you know, a little bit of everything. Look, you can knock the ball up to Mikel and he'll make something out of nothing. Where with Haller, he seems like a confidence player, you know, and he seems like he sort of needs to play closer to goal with people in and around him. So it's a different challenge for the Hammers. Make no mistake, it really is about Antonio, so we'll see how they do.
So Antonio loves to roll off the shoulder of people, doesn't he? He's got great pace, great strength, but Bowen and Pablo Fornals are going to have to get much closer to Haller, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and you know that's where I think the formation might suit them in terms of, you know, Fornals received a lot of praise, and obviously he's, you know, scored in his last time at Anfield. But when he doesn't have to do as much defending like here in terms of this back five, it just allows him and other players, maybe those talented players, just to be a little bit closer to Haller, you know, and that's a good thing.
And in terms of what David Moyes is saying to Haller, are you telling him to pull on to either Phillips or Gomez in particular?
Well, I think so. It would be going on to probably Phillips out of both. You know, he'd be the one you'd be looking at pulling on to and just hoping that you can get knockdowns or get little bits and pieces in and around him. Look, they've got to get the ball wide. They've got to get it into the box. You know, Coufal will run up, give you a chance. You know, look, they've conceded as many goals as Fulham. So, you know, if there ever was a time West Ham are going to get something, it's going to be here.
But I guess they do have the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, don't they? Can come across and cover behind if, you know, the two do get dragged out of position or whatever, and Robertson, who's got plenty of games behind him on the other side.
Yeah, and look, that'll be one thing, but obviously we haven't spoken about attacking wise, because we did speak about, you know, in terms of their play, the volume of games. You know, look at how Klopp's managed his squad. He took all the front three off against Ajax. He left them all on the bench, didn't he? Against Matip might be a little bit bare, but he also might be just protecting, be a bit light up top as well. So it's trying to manage your squad, which is very difficult when you're competing on so many fronts.
Yeah, in terms of that game against Midtjylland that they played here on Tuesday, a number of changes. Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Robertson and Henderson, Fabinho, Shaqiri, Milner, Diogo Jota, Minamino and Origi all drop out of the side. Does the Liverpool midfield still excite you? The three in the middle, Curtis Jones coming into it today. Are you looking to spruce up in the coming windows?
Well, yeah, it's a good point, James. I mean, you know, it's certainly workmanlike, and I really like Wijnaldum. I really do. I think as an attacking number 8, I think he's superb, and Jordan obviously can do that holding role. But look, they've tried to add a bit of creativity. You know, they've got Thiago in there, they've got Jota in there. I think they've been 2 excellent signings, and apart from that, I think they're pretty much okay.
And that's the last point I was going to touch on. Diogo Jota, what an impact he's moving from Wolves.
Well, you know him well, don't you, James? Obviously covering the Midland clubs and Wolves. I love him. You know, irrespective of him signing for Liverpool, I thought he was outstanding at Wolves. I mean, he is just a bundle of tricks. He's so quick, isn't he? Runs in behind. He's got terrific feet. He can finish with left, right, head. I think he's an excellent signing. I really do, and I love him as a player.
Well, we are building up to kick off here at Anfield. It is Liverpool against West Ham United in the late game in the Premier League today. Just a couple of changes for Liverpool as Nathaniel Phillips and Curtis Jones come into the side. Sebastian Haller starts here for West Ham. A big onus on his shoulders to perform well here tonight for the Hammers if they are to get the result. Just one win in the last 47 here. We'll see how they get on. You are listening to Premier League Live.
As darkness sweeps around the globe at 8 p.m. on the 18th of November, 25,000 people worldwide will pull their running shoes on to hit the road for a virtual 5 or 10k at Run in the Dark. I'm Mark Pollock, and by joining us to Run in the Dark this November, you'll be supporting the Mark Pollock Trust and our charity partner Collaborative Cures, whose mission it is to cure paralysis in our lifetime. Register now at runinthedark.org and get your medal, your flashing armband, and your Run in the Dark virtual timing app. Thank you.
I was never good at spelling. I could read just fine, but I would be afraid if anybody asked me to do anything involving spelling. But since doing the course, all that has changed. I am braver. In fact, I feel braver than ever now. You know, you're never too old to learn. Never.
If reading, writing, maths or technology is holding you back, take the first step. Free phone 1-800-2020-65 or text LEARN to 550 to see how we can help. This free and confidential service is supported by your local ETB, Solis and Nala.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, and decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tires. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimetres. ITI free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fpd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance PLC.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk the dog. Go cycling, cycle the dog, recycle the dog, just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18+. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against West Ham United from Anfield. I'm your host, James Fielden, and alongside me is the former West Ham and Republic of Ireland striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. The sides alone you'll be able to hear in the background here, the famous old anthem of this famous old football club, the champions of England right now, Liverpool. The West Ham here to upset the party and their formidable home record. Once again, the changes. Nathaniel Phillips and Curtis Jones in for Liverpool as Fabinho and Diego Jota drop out. Mikel Antonio missing for West Ham. Sebastian Haller comes in. The two sides gathered here around the centre circle. Lots of clubs doing their remembrance tributes. And ahead of kick-off now, we will remember those who have lost their lives in conflict. Liverpool's closest match to Remembrance Day in November. The two sides Paying tribute before this game gets underway. Liverpool against West Ham United. The Hammers in their change kit today, led from the front by Sebastian Haller. His first start since the 7th of March. Comes in here for Mikel Antonio. Of course, came in for massive money from Frankfurt, David Connolly. Is it West Ham's fault that it hasn't worked out?
Look, it's difficult, combination of the two. I just think it's so hard, isn't it, when you come over, to acclimatise to a new club, a new division, a new league, and it's taking a bit of time, but I don't know, as soon as Antonio's fit, he's back in.
We are underway. West Ham get us started. They're attacking the Kop in this first half. Straight away, it's hacked into the air by Nathaniel Phillips here for Liverpool to get the ball clear. Jones trying to get his head to the ball. Haller takes it down, loses it to Wijnaldum. Liverpool have possession inside their own half, and Henderson plays a high ball forward down the right hand side, and Salah gets there ahead of Cresswell, who's running in treacle already. Salah tries to lay it inside here to Robertson Firmino. Put here Salah, and Rice gets back there to steer the ball away for West Ham, who were close to, close to conceding. Salah about to get a shot off there within 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, running in treacle, I haven't heard that for a long time, but he only made up about 5 yards on Cresswell, maybe more. Super speed from him, and lovely little invention, nice little back heel from Firmino, just didn't quite come off.
Back here to Phillips on the edge of his own penalty area. Gomez. Phillips, by the way, was playing at Stuttgart in Bundesliga 2 last season as they got promoted back to the top flight at the first time of asking. Sadio Mane approaching the edge of the penalty area here for Liverpool, trying to go past Fabian Balbuena, but the Paraguayan having none of it. And he plays a long ball away, but a ball which may have been chased in games gone by Mikel Antonio won't be chased by Haller.
Well, it's a good thing if you go back to the Spurs game. Do you remember, away from home, West Ham conceded really early. Balbuena torn to shreds down West Ham's right, and it looked like Liverpool were trying to do something similar there. First with Salah, then with Mane. They just got to keep it tight here, West Ham. Certainly for the first few moments.
Forward here by Henderson, who Mane loses the ball. Back by Soucek. Wijnaldum closing down Łukasz Fabianski. We played 2 minutes on Premier League Live. The final game of the day. Man City won at Sheffield United at lunchtime. Chelsea won at Burnley. Will it be a third away win out of 3? We shall see here. How hard is it to put together a 62 match unbeaten home run? They've won 28 of the last 29 games. I know they've obviously won the championship last year and came very, very close the year before, but that takes some doing, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, obviously you got to remember as well, a lot of that there isn't, but it's still absolutely incredible.
Do you think it helps or hinders Liverpool? There's no crowd.
I think it hinders. Make no mistake. I mean, often they would, at times they might not need that ball sucked into the back of the net, but it would certainly help them. And it intimidates your opposition. What a place to go and play your football.
Alexander-Arnold bends one forward from the right beautifully onto the chest of Salah, trying to get it near the goal line but can't keep it in play, and the ball spins behind and out of play for a goal kick. What a ball in behind that was from Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, he's got such delivery. Obviously top assist maker last season. Incredible right foot on him.
Just seeing a shot of Haller standing alongside Nathaniel Phillips. He's quite slight, isn't he, for a centre half?
Yeah, he's probably one of those that could do with filling out a little bit. But certainly, look, on all these goal kicks, they'll be going long. They won't be risking playing out onto the likes of Phillips.
High one from Fabianski upfield, up towards Soucek, who goes forward, looking for Jones, intercepted here by Declan Rice. The England international goes back into his own half here for Artur Masuaku. The Congolese wing back brings it forward down the left hand side. Back to Rice. Masuaku's done well, hasn't he, to get back in this team? A man who many people thought would move on during the summer, but they've found a place for him and slotting Cresswell back into the back 3 as well.
Yeah, that's right, but he's not afraid to change it. If you go back to the Spurs game, when at half time he changed from a 5 to a back 4 basically, but Masuaku, he can do both jobs. In the game he doesn't have to make a change. He can go to a back 4 with Cresswell as the left back and then push Masuaku as a sort of left midfielder, left winger, and then it works really well. So I think that's where Moyes has showed, he doesn't really have to change the personnel, in terms of changing the shape.
4 minutes on the clock here. It is Liverpool 0, West Ham 0. West Ham with 6 goals in their last 2 away games, 3 at Leicester at the start of the month, 3 at Spurs in that incredible game. They were 3-0 down with 82 minutes gone. Somehow took a point. Looking to score 3 again or get some more goals on the road here at Anfield, which won't be easy. They've never scored 3 in Premier League history. Fabianski playing the ball away here for West left-hand side. I think Liverpool are going to have most of possession here, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that will be the case. They'll just have to weather the storm, and they've shown they can do that. With little possession, they can be really effective and efficient, West Ham. But that's normally Van Antonio in the team, and he's not there today.
Alexander-Arnold, long pinpoint ball from right to left. Will it be kept in here by Robertson? He'll try. He'll loop it high into the sky. Fabianski dithers. It's going to drop in the box. Doesn't quite fall for Salah. I think you want your goalkeepers to come and claim the ball there, don't you?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think he's sometimes just going to leave it to that back five, because it's proven to be a really good...
Remember, you can get in contact with us on Twitter at TalkSport Live. Is the place to hit us up with your comments, thoughts, predictions.
Don't make him too tough, though.
Henderson in possession here for Liverpool. Goes back to Gomez. Robertson on the left. Henderson. Liverpool inside their own half here. Ball out to the right-hand side now to Alexander-Arnold. But a tweet in from DJ Keith, at Crucial Keith, who says he's driving by. Ball in here for Liverpool, headed away by Balbuena. Firmino battling for it here with Masuaku. He's got the wrong side of the West Ham defender, but Liverpool have it back now. Henderson trying to cross from the right hand side. Blocked in towards Salah again. Tidy touch away by Cresswell as he flicks it away behind his heel. Pablo Fornals coming in off the left hand side. Rice trying to switch play out here to the right hand side into the feet of Vladimir Coufal.
He's been a really good signing, Coufal. I think he's just what the Hammers fans look. If they could come in the stadiums, they'd love him. They'd give him a rapturous reception. Saw him against Leicester. He was excellent, attacking and defensively. Found it tough against the speed of Cancelo against City, but otherwise, I think he's going to be a really good acquisition for the Hammers.
Allaire trying to nod the ball on here. Phillips goes into him, and the free kick given against the Liverpool centre half, wearing 47 on his back. He says he got the ball. The referee Kevin Friend saying otherwise. Free kick West Ham. Central position just outside the centre circle.
Yeah, just out-muscled Phillips here. A little bit superior strength from this set pieces.
Free kick's already been taken. Coufal down the right. Swings a good ball into Allaire. Headed wide by Phillips. It's gone behind for a corner here. And those are the kind of situations where Allaire can be so effective in the box.
Yeah, I've seen this from West Ham in a few games now. They've been really bright. This time they took it short, loaded the box, good ball in from Coufal, but Phillips did well. I think he might have taken a little blow in the head here from Allaire.
Looks like he's alright, back on his feet. Jared Bowen will take the corner from the right.
3, 2, 1.
Bowen swings it in high towards the far post. Liverpool will let that one go out of play on the other side for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you just got to give those players a bit of a chance. You put too much on it, Bowen. But as I said, they got the likes of Soucek. We've already seen what a threat he is on set pieces, but just put it in and around the 6-yard box, give him a chance.
Jack Frost has tweeted saying he's enjoying our commentary from Los Angeles. He's got a lifetime lemon though, David. You ready for this one? Yeah. Do I have Cocoa Pops or Weetabix for breakfast?
Oh, it's got to be Weetabix. I thought that was
I'm with you there.
It's a good job he's not cold though, Jack Frost, over in LA.
From IGB Mafia, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Accra, Ghana, Liverpool to have made of his side start.
Well, I think they've been really good on the ball. They're popping it around. They're confident. Make no mistake, they're going to try and make this back five, midfield four work really hard and eventually just wear them down. They need to get it into the front though. Get it into that front three.
Henderson wide to the right. Tony tweeted in saying, who do you think Liverpool's most important player is today in terms of getting a win, presumably? Who's they need to perform more than anyone else?
Well, I think certainly the likes of Mane, Salah, they'll be the two.
There's West Ham coming forward with Bowen. Slips it out to Pablo Fornals on the left hand side. Corner of the penalty area. Leaves it in for Masuaku, who joins it. Rice is square of him. So Cresswell bombing up on the outside. Masuaku centres here. Headed right by Gomez. And a real chance. It's been squeezed in. And West Ham lead within 10 minutes. Pablo Fornals in off the near post. And we could have a shock here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, West Ham 1.
Well, it's a really poor error here from Joe Gomez. It looks like he just heads the ball out straight into the feet of Pablo Fornals. Awful clearance. I mean, it's a really good ball into the box, but it's a dreadful clearance. Is he onside? I think so. Lands at the feet of Fornals, and he's been in superb form. He really has, Fornals. Right on the edge of the box, one touch to kill it, off his chest, and he bangs it in low. takes a little nick off the inside of the post. Alisson, absolutely no chance, but great goal. Terrific finish from Fornals.
Masuaku's cross wasn't the best, was it? But you've got to wonder whether Gomez should have just swiped that one clear with his foot instead of trying to head it away, which caused the problem.
Yeah, possibly. He's either just got to get more on it, though. He's got to get under the ball and lift it, get height and distance, at least clear the box. Instead, hits it straight to Fornals. Terrific little chest control, and then he looks into the far corner but reverses it at the near. Great goal.
West Ham lead here on Merseyside. Liverpool, the champions, losing here. Will they lose their unbeaten home record? They trail by 1-0, and they have to chase this game now. And West Ham playing a back five when not in possession.
Yeah, again, it just gives them something to hold on to. We saw this against Man City as well. You know, you give them something to hold on to, they can be really dogged and diligent. In the end, you know, City had to make changes to try and get back in the game.
Henderson into the centre circle here for Wijnaldum. To the right hand side, Alexander-Arnold coming in field here, the right back. Henderson switching it out to the right hand side. Liverpool had 71% possession so far, but they trail.
He scored at Anfield last season as well, didn't he, Fornals? So obviously likes the place.
A tweeting from @Saturnis as well, who says, thanks gents for keeping me company as I drive back to Atlanta in Georgia. Excited for the fireworks with this game. Well, we've had an early one here. Salah cuts it back towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's blocked. West Ham will play their way here through Cresswell up towards the halfway line, towards Allaire. Phillips nodded out of play. You could hear a big shout there of good lad as Phillips attacked the ball.
Yeah, but it was actually good play from Declan Rice. I mean, he's going to have to break things up, intercept things. He did it really well against Man City. He's going to have to do it here. Salah receives in the box, try to pick out a player on the edge, and again Declan Rice with that little interception.
Cresswell will take this throw for West Ham.
He'll be in no rush, will he? You know, certainly all these restarts, West Ham, they'll take their time.
Just try and frustrate this Liverpool side. They've won the last 3 in a row away at Ajax and here against Sheffield United and Midtjylland. Of course, not the biggest of tests for them, but a win's a win. Before that, 2-2 they drew at Everton, losing 7-2 at Villa, losing here on penalties against Arsenal. Before that, they beat Arsenal in the league here. In terms of the league this season, do you think it'll be the usual suspects come the new year, or do you think there might be one or two still in an unfamiliar position?
Oh, we might get one or two, but I think certainly it's difficult for, you know, the likes of Aston Villa, who conceded so many goals last season. I think only Norwich conceded less, to suddenly turn that around and, you know, stay up there. So I think it will be probably the same old faces.
Teams have obviously played a different amount of games. Only 3 points between.
That's right.
Early days, of course. Jones here to the left-hand side of the area. Robertson works it back inside to Henderson. Back to Henderson. Robertson down the line. Mane trying to come inside. Balbuena gets too tight to him. Free kick against the South American in a crossing position on the left-hand side.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're swarming around deny Liverpool time and space on the ball. But what they do have, they've got really good to do have, though, West Ham. They've got a real clear height advantage in terms of defending these set pieces.
Yeah, lots of them in there. Ogbonna, Balbuena, Soucek, Allaire, Rice, Masuaku big as well. He's taking it short to Robertson, who swings a high one towards the far post. Salah just keeps it in. Rolls it back here. Henderson, cleaner. Alexander-Arnold gets on it again, edge of the penalty area, tries to lift a cute ball into the box. It's blocked, and Masuaku brings it away past Alexander-Arnold, and he's now charging down the left touchline. Loses out, and then a challenge which has sent Pablo Fornals down, and Curtis Jones looks at him as though to say, get up, you wimp. Cross in from the right-hand side. Fabianski's flapping at it here, but he grabs it at the second attempt. Well, worrying moment there for West Ham, but Pablo Fornals going down in a heap before that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really good refereeing here in terms of playing the advantage. I think there's nothing wrong with that tackle at all, and I saw this midweek actually in the Juve-Barca game, where it was a Dutch referee, played some great advantages, didn't listen to any sort of play acting or players rolling around on the ground. There he is, Fornals, he's up, he's indicating to the ref that should be a card, which I think is really poor play. But as I said, midweek, Juve-Barca, I thought it was superb refereeing from Makelele. He's a Dutch referee. He didn't stand for any nonsense, any rolling around on the floor, whatever. He was like, nah, that's fine, play on, played advantage, and I tell you what, you soon see the players get up. You really do.
Yeah, it only takes a glance away to the referee, and when you realise you've got nothing and you're out of position, you don't want to be screamed at by your coach.
Absolutely, and you know what? I think if it was more refereeing like that, we'd see a much better game. Players would spend less time on the ground, crying, appealing for stuff. I was really impressed midweek.
Rice trying to play it forward here into Allaire, but it goes past the French forward and into the arms of Alisson, who gets rid of Liverpool. David Moyes just passing 30 games in charge of West Ham, has won 1 in every 3 so far. Leading here at Anfield, of course, a city that he used to spend so much time in as Everton boss for all those years. Robertson here on the left for Liverpool. Goes back to the halfway line, and Gomez switches it out to the right hand side to Henderson. Liverpool keep the ball moving, working it from side to side, but they can't break West Ham down right now.
Yeah, they're working really well, obviously, just sliding across this back 5, midfield 4.
High ball over the top here towards Mane, and Coufal gets ahead to the ball. It goes behind for a corner, but even from these corners, and if West Ham can push Liverpool wide, they'll back themselves to defend any high balls that go in the box, won't they?
Yeah, and that's where the wing backs have got to get in on the cover, as Coufal did there. It means, as you say, the wing, the full backs, the wings are free in terms of Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. That's where you've got to be really careful, because their delivery is so good.
Robertson with a corner from the left here for Liverpool. Trail at home comes in. Good header away by Soucek. Masuaku trying to pick up the scraps, and now Rice belts it away. It's how to play for a Liverpool throw. Right hand side, midway inside the West Ham half.
Yeah, they defended that well. I think it might have been Balbuena, I don't know, who got that first contact clear, but it's going to be better. Unlike Gomez's headed clearance, that one, height and distance, cleared the box. Just always gives you a chance.
Latest possession count 77% for Liverpool, but they're yet to have a shot in the game. Will that be a concern for Jurgen Klopp with 18 gone?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I looked at these stats for other games recently, and for a lot of sides now, possession is, it doesn't really count for much. It's how efficient you are.
You think there are more and more managers who are happy to concede the ball in overall control, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely there are.
Henderson out to the right hand side to Alexander-Arnold, controls it, the England right back to Henderson, puts his foot on the ball here, back to Alexander-Arnold, who goes back to the halfway line. Phillips fall behind here last week, Liverpool, to a penalty from Sander Berge early in that game as well, with 13 minutes gone before Firmino and Thiago Jota replied for the Reds in the second half ultimately. Jones for Liverpool. Henderson trying to play a high one over the top here. Masuaku gets it away. Wijnaldum trying to put his foot on the ball, but then Soucek gets there and plays it to Pablo Fornals, the goal scorer. Masuaku forward to Rice. Putting 1 or 2 passes again together here. West Ham inside their own penalty area. Goes back to Fabianski. He plays a high one away to the right hand side.
Well, just James, I got these stats here because I did them for a previous game against Leicester. West Ham had 30% possession, but they got 14 shots off. That's how efficient. Against Wolves they had 37%, and they still got 15 shots off.
Is that because they go from back to front very quickly?
Yeah, exactly. And so possession doesn't really count a lot, for certainly not the way West Ham want to play.
Got a 4th league goal tonight for Pablo Fornals. He was flattered to see, really, hasn't he, since moving? Promised so much, so talented in those Spain youth teams, but hasn't quite done it at a senior level yet, has he?
No, but he's one of those players, I don't think, he doesn't want to spend all his game tracking back, he wants to have that freedom, that licence to get up and attack, and I think the back 5 helps him. Picks up good possessions, got a great goal against Leicester. He's got another really good one here.
Jones, Robertson on the left hand side. Liverpool got to just make sure they don't get frustrated.
Obviously they've got to be patient and find the little pockets, and this is where Man City found it really difficult until they brought on the likes of De Bruyne and Phil Foden.
Difference being, Liverpool don't really have those kind of options, do they? Thiago Jota may be the most talented of the attacking players on the bench. Mane, edge of the box here for Liverpool, trying to lift a high one in over the top of Balbuena, who gets it away on his chest. He doesn't quite stick up front for Allaire. He's coming back again. Alexander-Arnold on the right, into the box here to Salah, back to goal. Cresswell getting tight to him. Salah now facing forward. Alexander-Arnold trying to get the ball in, and it's out of play for a throw in to Liverpool right by the corner flag right hand side.
Wow, Salah is just so sharp. Ball's fired into him, fizzed into with his little toe, takes him away from say that was my acknowledging. That was my fault. I apologise. He came for the ball. Ogbonna ducked out because of it, and he just completely misjudged it. Came off the inside of his palms, and tell you what, they were lucky there was no one there sniffing around.
Put a bit of flour in there as well. You get yourself a nice treacle sponge, bit of custard. Oh, beautiful.
Is that what they have in the Midlands?
do you not have it in I was about to say the Republic of Ireland. Do you not have it down south?
I don't know. What is it? A treacle sponge?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be my first choice, no.
Okay. Favourite pudding?
An apple pie.
Okay,
yes.
Nice. Yeah, nice. A bit of cinnamon.
Yeah, cream. Well, you could leave the cinnamon as long as it's got cream and ice cream. Plenty of calories, that'll do for me.
Phillips here, it's the right hand side for Liverpool. Liverpool 0, West Ham 1. Henderson inside his own half. Liverpool trying to break this West Ham side down and struggling at the moment. They're going wide here to Alexander-Arnold on the right.
Look how deep Firmino is. He's almost 10 yards inside the attacking half, getting the ball off the full-back square. So deep, almost as a midfielder at times. Liverpool obviously working training the whole time, but we saw that Man City found it very difficult once you give West Ham something to cling on to.
Jurgen Klopp wrapping himself up tonight. Number of layers on, the snood deployed as well.
There's not much of his face that you can see, is there, Klopp? He's like he's wearing a COVID mask.
High ball played forward here. Ogbonna with an acrobatic clearance away towards the halfway line. Is it sustainable to play like this for the rest of the game for West Ham?
Yeah.
And they're coming forward here. Pablo Fornals driving forward. This may be their chance. Bowen's away to the right hand side. Jarrod Bowen doesn't receive a good ball inside the box from the Spaniard, and Liverpool bring it away. And now West Ham have got to get back behind the ball because they've committed players upfield. Robertson out to the left hand side to Mane. Senegalese wide man cutting in field now. Opportunities have closed up from where they were before, and Liverpool back to where they were inside their own half.
Henderson's gone back as well, isn't he? When he could have gone forward there, but Fornals, he just left Bowen short. I actually think he should have gone out to the other side, because even if he puts it to Bowen on this right hand side, he's got to then cut back in on his left peg. He's obviously a lefty. He likes cutting in with that left anyway, but I just wonder, could he have made a different run here, Bowen? Could he have gone across Gomez and gone to the other side of the box?
It would have suited him, wouldn't it? As you say, a left-sider would have just come onto his left foot to drive it back across goal.
I mean, it's a move you work on a training ground, a straight ball, diagonal run. Bowen makes a diagonal run there, he's in the box on his left peg.
29 minutes gone. West Ham still leading here, thanks to a Pablo Fornals goal inside 10 minutes. Liverpool yet to have a shot in this game. Interested to see the stats on that. The last home game they didn't have an opportunity in the first half an hour. Conceding goals at the moment. Liverpool just one clean sheet in their last 12 games now, having kept 13 in their previous 18. Obviously Van Dijk missing for the last couple, but is there anything more sinister than that they're doing wrong?
I tell you, they're conceding more than Fulham now, so they've got it all to do. Look, we knew it was going to be a test. Certainly Liverpool fans did. With the amount of injuries and problems they got at the back, I guess frustration. Matip out again. A lot of fans feel maybe he's letting them down at this moment. He's missed so much football, and at a time when they really need him, where is he?
Fabianski standing over this free kick, takes it short here to Ogbonna, and the pole gets it back. Long high ball forward, spins it out to the right hand side. It doesn't quite find Soucek.
Yeah, it's not a good ball though again, is it? Anywhere near Soucek.
Mane coming forward, driving down the left hand side. Stepping into it is Balbuena, who wins it back for the away side. High ball forward, but it's not close enough to Allaire. Do you think fitness might be a problem for Allaire today?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that's something they'll just have to manage as the game goes on.
Has come on in 5 of the 6 games so far, but as I'm sure David Connolly will tell us, substitute appearance for the last 10-15 minutes isn't quite the same as starting from the off, is it?
No, what's he had, like 50 minutes in the Premier League, prior to today?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a lot.
Exactly 50 minutes so far. We've got 15 minutes left of the first half here at Anfield. I'd say Liverpool are in trouble, but struggling really to get any kind of rhythm in their game right now. Mane to Robertson on the left. The attempt they've had so far is Henderson's curler from the edge of the box, which just drifted wide.
Well, I don't get this, James. I mean, they've given offside. This is this new rule, and I saw it in midweek, Juve, when Morata, runs through and goal, he scores, and then, they bring it back because he was offside sort of, 5 seconds earlier. I mean, he just ran 30 yards, he could have pulled a hamstring. Here, Liverpool clearly offside. They let the move continue, and eventually then they put the flag up.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? You understand why they're doing it, but in reality it just doesn't really make much sense because it's exerting players more than they need to. Absolutely. And actually, I heard someone saying this the other day as well, that actually as a fan, if you're the attacking team, for example, you think that your team are doing better than they actually are if they end up getting shots away, and then you're reading match reports saying, Team X had a goal disallowed for offside or anything like that when it was, clearly offside 10 seconds before the ball hits the net. It kind of creates a false story around the game.
Yeah, what happens if you make a foul and it's a red card, last man or something or something?
Bowen
like
inside
that.
the box here takes the ball off a long throw, but it goes through to Alisson. All kinds of problems, but at the same time I'm not really sure what the answer is. It's also Keita for VAR, isn't it? That's the issue.
Yeah.
Jones, Robertson in towards Mane, helps it on, taken down by Soucek, free kick Liverpool. I mean, I don't want to go over old ground, but in terms of VAR, I just think that football's just not the game for in-depth video analysis and discussion. There's too many different points in the game that create problems.
And Holland have changed it, haven't they? Holland have gone with a thicker line, to give sort of that grey line. Black and white is now a bit greyer, bigger, thicker lines used. Because you can't decide football matches by millimetres unless you're one of those real anal techie types. And I don't think football's for that. Football's about feeling as well, so they have to get the balance right.
Also had a playing spell in Holland with Feyenoord and Excelsior. Liverpool have taken this free kick short. Jones on the edge of the penalty area, works back to Alexander-Arnold, tries to go past his man, loses the ball. Now West Ham can counter. They've got 3 forward here. It's 2-on-2 over the halfway line. Pablo Fornals racing down the right hand side. Masuaku's in the middle. Pablo Fornals gets the ball wrong. Masuaku will hold it on the left hand side. Cresswell, corner of the box, swings a high ball in, too high, too long. Pablo Fornals can't keep it in on the right, and Fornals again lets his side down when they needed him most.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I guess if it had maybe Antonio streaking away with a bit more pace, something might have come of that. In the end, Fornals, he's looking for a bit of help. He's not the quickest. He's only really got Masuaku, and you would say West Ham, they're not blessed with athleticism. In the middle of the park, Soucek, Rice not particularly quick, Bowen not especially quick, Fornals not especially quick, so without Antonio they really lack that sort of weapon in behind.
West Ham have actually lost 21 of their last 24 away games against the reigning champions, the exception being a win against Manchester United at Old Trafford back in 2001. Ball played forward here, Salah trying to chase it down the right, fouls Cresswell. In doing so, Cresswell has positioned his body perfectly there because he knew the challenge was going to come. Free kick West Ham inside their own penalty area.
That's a bit better though from Liverpool. It's one of the only times you've really seen them risk a ball at the back, and it takes some of the ability of Alexander-Arnold just to risk the ball rather than go sideways, punch it into the front, into Firmino, who's just got in the pocket in between the lines. He then turns and in turn tries to feed Salah, but makes the foul on Cresswell. But that's much better. They've got to risk the ball. We saw City, I don't want to play the ball enough until it was too late, until they brought on the likes of De Bruyne and Foden. You've got to risk it much earlier, especially now you're losing.
More games to come in the Premier League this weekend. Tomorrow, plenty of games. Villa, Southampton. I think you're at that one, aren't you, David?
Yes, I'm at that one tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to that.
And then Newcastle, Everton, Manchester United against Arsenal, and Spurs against Brighton, the late game. Then a couple on Monday as well. Fulham against West Brom. That's a big game near the bottom, isn't it?
Yep. As I said, got coming up. Terrible run, so they need
West
some
Ham
points.
away as well after that one. And then Leeds-Leicester, which is an intriguing one. Leicester, of course, in the Europa League this season. They won at AEK Athens on Thursday. And they're back in action again this coming Thursday. I think it's against Braga they've got. That'll be an away game for them in northern Portugal, in the rain, no doubt. Loads of Premier League games on the way as they continue to be isolated, so you can watch pretty much all of them and listen to them with us here on Premier League Live as well. Edem has tweeted us, who's listening from La Paz in Ghana. Says he hopes it's a Halloween jinx for Liverpool today. You going trick-or-treating later, David? Is that your thing?
No, I probably won't. I've probably grown out of trick-or-treating, to be honest, at 43, but I still enjoy it. The house looks good.
Got your pumpkin sorted?
Yep.
Smiles.
I just cut the base.
Okay. Liverpool coming forward here. Mane with the cross into the box towards Robertson, who volleys it towards goal. Sends it into the stand behind Łukasz Fabianski's net. That would have been a stunner had that one gone in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult skill. Robertson, on the volley, ball coming across, a good ball in from Mane, but very difficult. First time, just come off the outside of his boot.
36 and 3/4 minutes gone here at Anfield. Another strike on goal at least for Liverpool, but yet to test Fabianski. West Ham, you'd imagine, are probably going to go in ahead here at half time, won't you?
Well, got a big sort of 10 minutes, but they're not going to go in ahead if they play out like that. 10 minutes ago, first time they're taking a goal kick short, putting it to Fabianski on his left foot. He can't even reach the halfway line with his stronger foot to put it on his left, and he's obviously drops it 20 yards short. Now Liverpool have got the ball.
Wijnaldum, square here to Gomez. West Ham doing very little in normal play in terms of attacking themselves, just the odd breakaway from David Moyes' side now. Robertson on the left, cutting in field, going back to Henderson, who's anchoring things in front of the back line. Robertson and Alexander-Arnold really pushed on down the sides. It remains 1-0 to West Ham. And they could have had more as well, hadn't they, if the decision making had been better in the final third on those breakaways they had. They've caught out Liverpool a couple of times, just haven't made it count when they get into good areas. Jones inside to Firmino, drops really deep here. Wijnaldum edge of the box, going down right outside the D. Free kick Liverpool, and West Ham can't afford to give away opportunities like this.
Yeah, this is where they risk the ball really well, Liverpool. They just get Wijnaldum in the pocket, in between the lines. Lovely little touch taken away from Fornals, and Rice on his outside shoulder trying to make contact. He doesn't, brings him down about 2 yards outside the box. That's really good play from Liverpool.
Number of interested takers here. Robertson, Alexander-Arnold not far away. Left foot or right foot from here, it's right of centre.
Well, it's a lefty from this side, and we have seen West Ham do this. They sometimes put a man, behind the ball, lying down on the ground in case, someone, a taker, tries to be a bit clever and go under the wall if it jumps. And you think if Alexander's over it, I'd imagine they're going to jump the wall. So there should be someone lying down. I think it was Fornals last time, in a David Brent-esque sort of pose.
Henderson also in attendance here, but he won't be taking it, I don't think. Alexander-Arnold there, Robertson as well. A few yards outside the penalty area. Alexander-Arnold's hit it straight into the wall. Back out to Robertson on the right side, but he's lost it. Rice brings it away here for West Ham. Controls it well to bring in Bowen in the left back position. Haller tries to take it down on the chest, but Gomez gets the better of him. Haller has hurt his side here, hobbling away from the incident. 5.5 minutes left of normal time inside this first half. Firmino, Henderson to the right hand side, Alexander-Arnold, Wijnaldum, Salah, Henderson. Liverpool continue to move the ball around. Alexander-Arnold to Curtis Jones, the academy product, lifting it high to the far side. Salah inside the box, Masuaku gets tight to him. And Masuaku seemed to stop play there almost and look towards the referee to see what decision he was going to give. Masuaku not really complaining, and Liverpool have a penalty.
Oh, it's a shame, I think, for West Ham, because they've defended really well, but we saw this with Masuaku getting out to close down the ball, and Salah on that first touch, he just takes it away, drops on his left foot, then he just shows it to Masuaku, and then quick as a flash moves it away with his right foot. Masuaku's a fraction late,
kicks through his boot, doesn't he?
Yeah. And I think he knows, his reaction says everything, that it was a minimal contact, but it was enough. I mean, the assistant referee didn't give it, it was the referee. He took a bit of time as well, didn't he? But it is a penalty.
They've scored both penalties they've been given this season, Liverpool. Mohamed Salah with both of them in the win here against Leeds. Can he score from the spot here in front of the Anfield Road end? The Egyptian king, he's known as by the Liverpool faithful. Big chance here for Liverpool before half time to level things up from the penalty spot. Salah against Łukasz Fabianski. Salah steps up and drives it down the middle, and Liverpool are level. It's 1-1. Fabianski picking a side he was always likely to. Mohamed Salah with his 7th goal of the season already. pulls the Reds level.
Yeah, well, he blasts it low. Fabianski goes early and actually just cuts along the ground. Maybe just came off the grass ever so slightly. He stood still, Fabianski, come off his shin.
David Moyes will be so annoyed, won't he, the way they've conceded that goal. Needless, really. Now his side are coming out and showing a bit more attacking ambition. Soucek playing it forward. Pablo Fornals taken down inside the centre circle. He's moaning at the referee that he's been fouled again.
I think certainly a disappointing thing for Moyes will be that, you know, they haven't had to work that hard to score a goal. It's a cheap one.
Masuaku maybe back in the bad books of some West Ham fans after that challenge. Well, he knew straight away, didn't he?
I do have some sympathy for him because, I mean, his sleight of foot is just absolutely phenomenal. Salah shows it and then it just goes, the ball, incredible.
Free kick here for West Ham, work the angle if possible. Liverpool holding a relatively high line here. Cresswell clips it towards the penalty area, now up towards Balbuena, who nods it across goal towards Haller, who couldn't quite get there. Alisson comes out together, Haller clatters into him.
Well, he's just a bit slow, isn't he, Haller? Caught on his heels, no one getting across Alisson. If he had...
Liverpool coming forward, but it's back in possession here with Balbuena. Masuaku coming forward, but he's been taken down. It's a free kick here to West Ham. Henderson protests to no avail.
Well, you can lip read there. I got the ball, he's saying, I got the ball.
David Moyes standing arms folded in the technical area here, the West Ham boss. 1 in 15 away games against Liverpool. 552nd game as a Premier League manager here today. It's one of the elite. Of Arsene Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson, Harry Redknapp have only managed more games than him in the English top flight. Cresswell nodding the ball into the air here. Coufal gives it away to Alexander-Arnold, who's in different territory on the left-hand side of midfield here. Wijnaldum on the right, doesn't have Alexander-Arnold on the outside of him, so has to come infield instead to Henderson. Robertson on the left. Gomez. Phillips. I think he'll have been quite comfortable with the way this first half has progressed. Hasn't really been tested too much, has he?
No, I guess, you know, he's sort of dealt with the threat when it's been put upon him, and there haven't been that many, have there, in this first half from West Ham, apart from the goal really and the odd break.
Alexander-Arnold on the right tries to slot it forward towards Wijnaldum, away by Masuaku towards the halfway line. Phillips nods it down. Henderson inside, holds it here on the edge of the centre circle to Robertson on the left. 25 seconds left of the 45. Mane switched it out to the right. Alexander-Arnold has Salah there for company. Alexander-Arnold in, headed away by the Italian Ogbonna. Phillips again to the right. Salah, corner of the penalty area on the right, clips a high ball towards the far post towards Robertson. Nice idea, just too far ahead of the Scot.
Yeah, it's a poor ball in from Salah. But just going back to the likes of Phillips, you know, I'm sure it probably helps him, you know, coming in for his debut in a sort of empty stadium. You know, probably the pressure is less. It might be like playing under 23 football or whatever, or coming through the youth teams. Imagine there was sort of 50, 60 thousand there screaming. That I guess maybe the occasion might be a bit more daunting.
2 minutes of additional time at the end of this first half. We've played 30 seconds already as Fabianski plays a long high one forward. He does clear the halfway line this time, and Soucek gets the flick on. Phillips trying to control, short layoff to Wijnaldum. It's now with Gomez on the edge of his own penalty area to Robertson. West Ham have put together, or have had rather, just 128 passes in the game so far. Liverpool 404. Such has been their dominance. West Ham haven't been too accurate with those they have attempted to play. Wijnaldum to the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold, long high diagonal from right to left, looking for the run of Curtis Jones, but too much on it. Now the play it goes for a goal kick, and Jones will be... I thought he was going to return the ball there to Fabianski as he jumps over the advertising hoarding, but he trots back to the halfway line. What will David Moyes be delivering to his side at half-time now, do you think, in terms of what they do in this second half?
I think he'll be really pleased. He'll obviously say, Liverpool have tried that diagonal quite a few times. Maybe they see Coufal in the area is probably the weakest link out of the whole five. They haven't got their trajectory quite right so far, but still, that's been the ball they've looked to. And that's a credit to actually how West Ham had defended, through the middle of the pitch.
Just in a shot as well of Saïd Benrahma on the bench for West Ham today, picked up from Brentford on a season-long loan deal with an obligation to buy at the end of it. He's going to be a big asset for them, isn't he, when he's fit and firing?
Yeah, he really is.
Coufal right-hand side here for West Ham. Good ball. That'll do us for the first half. 1-1 at the break. West Ham taking the lead early on through Pablo Fornals' close-range effort. They held out for a good half an hour before a kick from Masuaku gave Liverpool a penalty. Mohamed Salah there to slot it in, and as the James Bond music is played here at half-time at Anfield, presumably in tribute to the legendary Sir Sean Connery, who died earlier today. I can tell you the half-time score here at Anfield is Liverpool 1, West Ham United 1. We'll go over the first half next. You are listening to Premier League Live.
As darkness sweeps around the globe at 8 p.m. on the 18th of November, 25,000 people worldwide will pull their running shoes on to hit the road for a virtual 5 or 10k at Run in the Dark. I'm Mark Pollock, and by joining us to Run in the Dark this November, you'll be supporting the Mark Pollock Trust and our charity partner Collaborative Cures, whose mission it is to cure paralysis in our lifetime. Register now at runinthedark.org and get your medal, your flashing armband, and your Run in the Dark virtual timing app. Thank you.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to
Fixed cost to standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom Base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Marion Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rails? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Scoil Céile. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, or yoga instructor, we've got what you need. And we're 3inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport Disinfectant Treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets, and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses, creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
Welcome back here to Anfield. The half-time score between Liverpool and West Ham is 1-1 in the day's late clash in the Premier League. Here are the first half highlights. Headed around by Gomez, and a real chance. It's been squeezed in, and West Ham lead within 10 minutes. Pablo Fornals in off the near post, and we could have a shock here at Anfield.
Dreadful clearance. Is he onside? I think so. Lands at the feet of Fornals, and he's been in superb form. He really has, Fornals. Right on the edge of the box, one touch to kill it, off his chest, he bangs it in low, takes a little nick off the inside of the post. Alisson, absolutely no chance, but Great goal, terrific finish from Fornals.
Salah inside the box, Masuaku gets tight to him, Salah hits the deck, it's a penalty. Salah against Fabianski. Salah steps up and drives it down the middle, and Liverpool are level, it's 1-1.
Fabianski goes early and actually just cuts along the ground, maybe just came off the grass ever so slightly, maybe half a yard off the grass. If he stood still, Fabianski would come off his shin.
So 1-1 at the break here between Liverpool and West Ham United. I've been watching the first half alongside former West Ham striker David Connolly. What do you think the Hammers fans will have made of that first half, David?
Well, I think they would have been really pleased. I think it was another excellent first 45 minutes. They put a few of those together now, haven't they? And look, they didn't concede early as they did against Spurs. They were much tighter at the back, got their goal, and defended manfully. I guess it was just, that you mentioned him, the Egyptian magician, that slight, people talk about a magician, sleight of hand, well with Salah it's sleight of foot. I mean, he is just a genius the way he just moves that ball. So degree of sympathy for West Ham and Masuaku, because barring that it's been a really good first 45.
And Liverpool maybe slightly fortunate to get the opportunity they did to strike level?
Yeah, I guess so. They've huffed and puffed. I think they've restricted actually Liverpool to sort of longer range shots, longer range delivery into the box, longer range switches of play, and that's because they've defended so well through the middle of the pitch. So credit to them. Look, they got the goal, and they're level, but sort of they've barely been a threat on the West Ham goal.
I think the pattern of the game will be the same in the second half. Do you envisage anything changing?
I think if you're David Moyes, you'll be saying, just more of the same. I think Fabianski in goal's got to get his kicks right. They've got to get it up in the vicinity of Soucek and Allaire. What they lack, the Hammers, is that pace in behind that Antonio gives them. So on the break, they don't look as threatening, but they have shown they can score great goals. Look, Antonio scored a great one against City. They scored a really good one again here. So it's up to them. A point away from home, against the likes of Liverpool, like a point against Man City would be a great result.
Half time in this game here. We did have an earlier game for you. The 3 o'clock game from Turf Moor was Burnley against Chelsea. Watching for us, John Anderson.
Burnley 0, Chelsea 3. Chelsea were as efficient and clinical as Burnley were insipid and uninspired, getting a 3-goal win, which puts them in the top 4 while leaving the Clarets rock bottom. After scoring in the Champions League in midweek, Hakim Ziyech got his first Premier League goal in the first half, firing in low and hard from 18 yards. Kurt Zouma then powered in a header from a corner for the 3rd time in an unexpectedly productive goal-scoring season to double the advantage, and a thoroughly well-taken Timo Werner goal ended it as a contest. Chelsea gain excessive clean sheet in all competitions, while Burnley are still seeking their first home goal of the season in the Premier League. Burnley 0, Chelsea 3.
Yes, so Chelsea the winners in that one, David Connolly. Are we wrong to write off Burnley again? They do often start slow.
Yes, I think we are. But look, every season it's a struggle for them, make no mistake. I mean, he's got one of the lowest budgets. He's got to go around and scratch and pick up diamonds and and polish them up. And he's done that like with Brownhill again in the Championship. And every season he has to make do. I think Sean Dyche has been a great manager for Burnley. But they probably need a little bit of investment. He's stuck his head above the parapet a few times, hasn't he? In terms of calling for some help, and you can understand that.
Yeah, there's takeover talk with Burnley at the moment. I think that's probably the kind of thing they need, don't they? Just to kind of reinvigorate things there a little bit. But do you think Dyche is really there for the long term?
Oh, look, I mean, he's a law manager. He's done great for them. I just think that he knows, what Burnley can and can't do, but it's just getting harder and harder, isn't it? You look at the sides who get promoted. Look at your Chef Hughes who go and spend 20 odd million on a centre forward, and Dyche just can't afford to do that.
Well, we talked about some of the games tomorrow. Manchester United against Arsenal, the pick. 2 on Monday as well. Fulham West Brom is the early game, 5:30, and then later on from Ellen Road, Leeds against Leicester. And ahead of that game, Leicester boss Brendan Rodgers has been talking about marrying the form together of the Europa League and Premier League.
Yeah, it is a real challenge because we want to do well in both competitions. We worked so hard last year to get into European football, so we want to have a real go at it. Of course, it's a challenge because we in terms of our numbers of squad, we've been unfortunate, like a lot of teams, I suppose, but for the likes of ourselves, we were missing some of our really, really top players. However, in this moment, when we get those back, the players that have come in have done exceptionally well, and it'll leave us for the second part of the season with a much stronger squad. So yeah, but it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're embracing.
Good start to the season, hasn't it, been for Leeds, David Connolly, and Leicester have lost Johnny Evans now, I think, as well. Wes Morecambe played in the centre of defence for the game against Athens on Thursday, and Wesley Fofana has been a good pick-up for them as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, they had a confidence-boosting win, didn't they, in the week, and I think that'll certainly help Leicester, and it'll be a tough game, won't it? I mean, great under lights, and I think Leeds, I'm so pleased that they're in the Premier League. You know, I really am. Probably only United fans that didn't really want to see him in the Premier League, but I'm certainly glad they are. They're really going to add to it.
But they're here to have a go, aren't they? I think
yes.
Which is what people like. There's one thing coming up and doing enough to stay up, but they want to do more than that.
Well, they do, but, you know, in defence of those other sides that come up, sometimes you've got to cut your cloth accordingly. You know, look at Fulham, you know, coming up playing a similar way. You haven't learned. They've been relegated twice previously with the worst goals against, and nothing's changed. So I think some sides realise that, you know, there's only sort of one way for them to stay up, and it's going about it in a different manner. But I love how Leeds play. I think Bielsa's absolutely brilliant, and you know, some of those players are proving a point. Now, everyone wrote off the likes of Bamford, didn't they? Said he wasn't a Premier League player. Well, you know, give him a chance, and this is what happens. So pleased for some of those players.
We'll see how they get on. Leeds against Leicester, 8 o'clock kick-off on Monday. The second half fast upcoming here at Anfield. 1-1 at the break between Liverpool and West Ham. The second half is coming up very shortly. You are listening to Premier League Live.
This October, watch the big games every weekend with Sky Sports and Sports Extra half price. This week it's Man United Arsenal, live only on Sky Sports. In one of the Premier League's most historic fixtures. Get Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports half price for 6 months. Search Sky Sports Sale. New sports customers only. Standard pricing applies after 6 months or if cancelling one element of the bundle. Minimum term and further terms apply.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the new Ford Puma from €385 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost a standard rate. Price quoted for a Puma Titanium with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford lease is provided by Merriam Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
Get ready and hold on tight because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Ersk Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
123ink.ie for all your home office needs, including printers, ink, toners, paper, label markers, binders, pens, bins, batteries, boxes, chalk, compass, files, memory sticks, highlighters, glue, notepads, pencils. Whoa! And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123ink.ie. For home, for office, for less.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against West Ham United, live from Anfield. I'm your host, James Fielden, and alongside me is the former West Ham Feyenoord and Republic of Ireland striker David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. The side's back out here at Anfield on this chilly October night. The clock's changing last weekend, the dark nights setting in earlier than they usually do. All a bit gloomy, but smiles on the faces here of referee Kevin Friend and Mo Salah as they share a joke ahead of this second half. Would you back Liverpool to go on and turn this one around?
Well, look, certainly with the front three they've got, and the, I guess, quality they got in the middle of the park, then you're going to be a fool that could say that they wouldn't be able to score one more goal. And look, they're not prolific, West Ham, but they have showed that they can score goals. Obviously 4 against Wolves and 3 against Leicester, 3 against Spurs, so they got goals in them as well, but they are missing Antonio.
Yeah, less said about that 4-0 trouncing of Wolves, the better.
Why is that?
Well, just not to put it behind me. It wasn't a great night for a Wolves fan, but West Ham really tore Wolves to shreds there, showing they can mix it with the best teams in the league, I suppose you'd say, on their day. And for half an hour here they led by a goal to 0. Salah's penalty levelling things up after Pablo Fornals' opener.
And what are they, Liverpool? Is it 62 games unbeaten at Anfield?
Currently 62, yeah.
Yeah, incredible. So you knew they were not going to lie down, are they, to anyone, especially 1-0 down to West Ham here, but got back in the game with that magician, as you said, Salah. His feet are just frightening. I mean, that little turn from Cresswell, suddenly he's got his back to you, half a second later he's facing you, then you're in big trouble. I mean, he is so quick at doing that.
Yeah, on that unbeaten home record, if they avoid defeat here, it will be their longest ever unbeaten home run in their history. Same amount of games under Bob Paisley from 78 to 80.
Well, do you know who's got the longest record? That could be a question we put out on Twitter.
Go on.
86 games. Well, let's see if anyone...
No, sorry, what's the question exactly?
Well, who holds the record, the most unbeaten games?
In England?
What club, yeah?
Okay.
86.
At TalkSport Live.
86 games.
I hope you know the answer.
I do know the answer.
Okay. We'll reveal it with 10 minutes to go. Answers, get them in.
The years would be good as well, for a bonus point.
Okay.
I do like a pub quiz, although I'm not at a pub, but...
Well, there won't be many of those going on in the next few weeks. Announcement today, I think, that this country is going back into lockdown with some form until the start of December. Robertson here on the left-hand side for Liverpool.
Well, those listeners